defining the network. First one is activity. So an activity represents some action which is going to take some time of the project. So it requires both time and resources. So you see here between 1 and 2, you have this activity. The activity cannot be actually quantified by anything. It is actually a collective effort of time and resource. So upon performing this activity, you move from stage 1 to stage 2. Upon performing this activity, you move from stage 2 to stage 3. Next one, event. So event refers to the start or completion of some activity as it consumes neither time or resource. So event means beginning and end of an activity. So this one is going to be an event, two is going to be an event, three is going to be an event. Between two events, you will have an activity. Between two events, you will have an activity. Okay, so that is going to activity is between two events, and event is between two activities. And starting of an activity is an event, ending of an activity is an event. So next one is network diagram. So it is a pictorial representation of various events, activities concerning a project. So they are well connected by an arrow mark. So each arrow mark will represent an activity, and each circular thing, circular object is going to represent an event or a node. Okay, the ending point of two or more activities is called a node. So if you have a single activity means coming out from a node means it's called as an event. But if you have multiple activities converging into a particular event, it is called as a node. So you see here, 4 is a node, but 5 and 6 are events. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 are events, and 4 is a node. So node means when multiple activities converge, you have what is called as the node. Okay. Critical path, this is the sequence of activities in network that takes the longest time to complete. So the path which takes the longest time to complete is going to be called as the critical path. The time of the critical path will determine how long the project will take, because critical path will delay your project. So critical path is the sum of the all the paths which will take the longest time to complete. For example, you see here, if in this thing, the critical path is when you have so many paths there, the critical path is going to be 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. Assume that this path is going to take a longer time for completion. It is just given here. Even 1, 2, 3, 6, 8 can be a critical path. Okay, that can also be a critical path. But here, for example, they have taken 1, 2, 4, 6, 8 is going to be a critical path. Critical activities, all activities which are inside a critical path is called as critical activities. So these like activities require special attention. So these activities have to be carried out with great caution because they may delay your project. Next one, slack. A slack or flow is the time to spare the time over which the activity may be delayed without affecting the overall completion of the project. The activity may be delayed, but project will be completing on time. So that unwanted delay is going to be called as slack in PERT, or it is called as float in CPM. I told you these are the two technologies available. So it is called as slack in PERT and float in CPM. Okay, it may be positive or negative. Positive slack means idle time resources. Negative slack means the project requires more resources which are available. So it can be positive or negative. Float. So same thing, slack and float are same. Delay in completion of an event is called as float. Arrow diagram represents a network which has arrows used to represent activities. So a network can be a combination of several activities and events. So in a big project, many activities are done at the same time. So there many activities can be started only at the end of other activities. Only when some activities end, some other activities can be started. The network can be defined by a set of points or nodes that are connected by